All right, this is Flux Reversal with FluxReversal.com's video game industry news chat and react show, where I talk about events over the past week from Monday to Friday, which was yesterday, in the video game industry from a perspective of a PC gamer and a consumer. A lot of this news isn't mainstream news. Some of it crosses over the mainstream news, but most of it, unless you listen to or keep up with niche news outlets, you're not going to hear about most of this stuff. Unless you're just a big-time gamer. Some of this news may come via whatever your gaming platform, because sometimes some popular gaming platforms like Steam, for example, has news from these mainstream news outlets. Like PC Gamer, for example, they do have a Steam group, and you will see their news if you follow their Steam group. That's just an example. But not everybody does that. And so I endeavor to follow different news outlets all over the internet. I have a channel in my Discord where I get specific news. It's like my own private social media feed, but it's just from these gaming industry news outlets. Most of them are reputable. Some of them are not so here lately, I'm finding. But that's why I endeavor to bring you the news, because you got to filter through some of it, because some of it is crap, some of it's just marketing. There was an instance today where I read 3 articles, and all articles had the facts wrong about an instance, and we'll talk about that today. But because there were so many news outlets, I was able to double check. I was like, wait a minute, you guys are saying this and they're saying this. What is the truth? And I had to go digging and find out what the truth was so I can bring you the facts. Because sometimes these news outlets are just processing stuff, and it's either like it's automated by LLMs and AI or whatever, or it's not a debate at all. It's one and the same, I guess I mean to say. But anyways, why not just to have something to talk about or stream or create content about, even though I do, because news is not a great thing to get into if you're endeavoring to be a content creator, not unless you're on the ground, breaking news live with so-and-so, IRL news. At this point, it's just podcast style talk show, regurgitating second, third hand information, fourth hand information sometimes. And it's just a reaction. It's easy to do. So I do it. And I do it because I've already keep up with it. And I don't keep up with it to have something to talk about. I keep up with it because I love knowing when the next hottest game's coming out before. I like getting involved in early access and alpha tests. I love that shit. And while Steam is a really good place to get access to that stuff these days, sometimes they're not even to Steam yet. A lot of times back in the days they weren't. So yeah, by the time you hear it from me, it's just second or third hand information. I'm just regurgitating information from news outlets, and I'm just one person. I can't follow everything. I can't keep up with every independent company and developer and fly-by-nights and all this crap. Every company that comes open seeking funding, because so many of them advertise via marketing articles and a lot of these news outlets, and you got to filter through all of that. Some of them look like good endeavors when they're backed by big names of the industry, like employees and developers who work for these companies, when they transfer to other companies, or they get together to like, oh man, these are some big brains behind this project, man, well, let's look and see what they're going to do. Like Red Rover has a handful of big names of industry vets. At this point, I guess they're kind of vets, they've been in it for a handful of years. So yeah, just an example. So we're going to get to it. A lot of news to go through as usual, and as long as I'm not gagging through the whole damn thing, it should be a good cut, because at the end of the new show, I transfer to a different topic where I do video production and editing, where I take the recording I just made and show you how easy it is to post content into YouTube and how to do that and make it look decent out the gate. So yeah, I said so yeah a lot because I'm stopping the gag with my gag button. So that's me taking a pause. So I guess you'd rather hear that than me gagging. All right, so on to the news. Now do you know what I'm doing and where it's about and where it comes from? Let's get into it. Rust is no longer my favorite game. Let's talk about Rust. Let's talk about a deep dive on Rust today. Let's start off with that. Rust fan sues police after swatting incident leaves him paralyzed. Rust player seeks $176 million. Fuck yeah. And lawsuit, Rust player left paralyzed. This from, IGN, Hyperfresh, Early Game, couple outlets I've been looking at lately. This is from an Arizona news outlet, I think. No. Attack of the Fanboy. Arizona man seeks $176 million after swatting response left him paralyzed despite prior warning to police. That's why it's news also. We'll talk about Alistair McFarlane here in a minute, who departed Facepunch last week. All right, so this isn't news. This is from last year. This is a young man who got shot last year. And it's news again because the lawsuit is new. That's what's new about it. So Rust fans sue. So the story is this kid, a young man, this Rust player, probably a toxic fucking teabagger himself in the game. Hey, no offense to the kid. My heart goes out to you for being paralyzed, and my heart goes out to you for having your life changed. It really, really does. Sincerely, I can't imagine. I can't even. No matter what I say, is not going to make anything better about this situation. So, my empathy, and I try and sympathize as much as I can, given the situation. But he's a Rust player, guys. Come on, he's a fucking Rust player.
Hold on.
Nothing against the guy.
Hold up. Wait
Rust
a
has
minute.
got some great people in the community. Really, really fantastic individuals who really understand what the game really is and don't take it seriously. And that's really good. That's some good iced tea. That being said, Rust also is notorious for having some of the worst players, some of the most toxic pieces of shit. I've come across these people who brag about doxing you once they get your IP and how easy it is to get your IP and how to do it and just make your life miserable. That's sort of the element I always tried to distance myself from in the Rust community, but it existed. And the development direction of Rust really leaned in to the content creator. So Rust, one of the significant parts of Rust's popularity was the content creator community and the content it generated, and basically just PvP content. And while Rust is a PvP game, and there's a lot of stuff in the game like guns and explosive and things to do PvP wise, and your stuff is never safe. And Rust seems like it encourages PvP. It's not totally a PvP game. It's so much more than a PvP game. There's so much more depth to this open world survival game that sandbox that it's supposed to be and once was. But due to the popularity of the content created by Rust and the people that it attracted, so it starts attracting people who had TikTok brain. So these motherfuckers are finding Rust through TikTok videos, TikTok clips, 30, 45, minute and a half videos, and they think that's all Rust is. So they get to Rust and they're disappointed at the experience. Where's the PvP at? Where's the PvP at, bro? Well, fucking go play Call of Duty, you stupid motherfucker, if that's all you want, because that is not what Rust is about. That's not what Rust is about. That's not what Rust is about. That's my take on it. And so because of that, that's the type of mentality Rust becomes overridden with, and the player population and servers of Rust totally revolves around making content. That's why Server says max population on Thursdays. It's the first Thursday of the month. And so it's a major wipe for Rust. Everything's wiped. Everybody's zeroed out. It's forced by Facepunch. It's forced by the game. Everybody gets zeroed out. Unless you have some really, really tricked out mod in a super modded server. But most people do not play those types of servers who play Rust. All right. And so wipe days, first Thursday. So they get in there. But after that, there's wipes also. Servers normally have wipes too. And there are a handful of servers that are popular. They're called monthly wipes. They don't wipe the map. They wipe when Rust has its forced wipe, and that's it. There's vanilla default servers like that, but there's also vanilla servers are considered servers where they just map wipe. They don't do total wipes. They'll just map wipe. They clean up the maps and the entities like once a week, once every 2 weeks or something. All right. That's how Rust works. Beyond that, this wipe cycle that I am referring to that is created and dictated by content creators, meaning they get on wipe day, they play for a handful of days, maybe 2 or 3 days at most, and then they stop playing because they need to make fresh content and post that content. But once the content comes out, they're back on the server for a fresh wipe. That is why Rust servers only last about a few days. No longer than a week. You have other people who are stragglers that will join, trying to pick up some of the decaying bases and shit. You know, they're like, no, they know that there's gonna be decayed bases. They know there's gonna be grub shit going on, so they get on for some of that action. So that's the meta I'm talking about. And so you get these single cell organisms in the game that all they want to do is PvP, and they go in maybe for a few hours, maybe for a day, maybe it's an organized group, and they're gone after a few days.
Hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
Compared to other games like DayZ, where it's still an open world sandbox survival game trying to tap into the open world survival experience with guns and access to PvP. That Rust once used to be. Yep. Used to be, I said. So, this young man who's a part of that community, and I was once highly involved in the community myself. That's why I went to that deep dive retrospective of the Rust community, because it's going to apply here in a few minutes too. This kid got shot. Basically, a hacker, he says, a hacker basically was trying to hold him hostage, wanting him to comply with demands, or he would be swatted. What exactly has to do with fucking Rust? I don't know. Just 2 days before Mendez had been hacked by another player of the survival game Rust. So I don't know how they knew it was a Rust player, but apparently it was. Accessed personal details on his computer and demanded money to release them publicly, or they would get swatted. If you know what swatting is, it's the act of someone doing a prank call to the police saying, I'm being held hostage, or someone was shot at this address, and they send the SWAT team. They're there right now, active shooter, and they send the SWAT team. SWAT team are fucking idiots. It's just really dumb motherfuckers with goddamn guns, no brains. Otherwise, this incident would have happened. Police say that this dude had a gun. Alex Melendez had a gun. They say he had a gun. So this kid apparently, though, had contacted authorities saying what had happened. And authorities said, have no fear, nothing's going to come of it. You've been noted, you're in the system. But we've seen instances of this before where authorities who have been thoroughly informed still respond negatively to a situation despite them having the information. It's like the two entities are not communicating with each other. It's like, okay, you call 911 and say, hey, this happened. They're like, okay, noted. But fucking SWAT still shows up and shoots motherfuckers. Right? So this kid 23-year-old, you're if you're 23 years old, you're still a kid. You know, he got shot. That was in 2025. We are a year later, this lawsuit comes up. And I hope he gets his money from these fucking sweaty chads. That's how they are, just a bunch of grunts. And the fact that it was a Rust player being accused of doing this type of thing, it has been verified. That has been verified. That's like a whole different story, and none of these stories talk about that. They never talk about if it's verified, if it was really a Rust player or not. But, as I mentioned, the Rust community does possess those type of people. There's no scoreboard in Rust. There's no end game. If you lose something, all you lose is time, but it doesn't matter because you're going to lose it anyways because the goddamn server is going to fucking wipe. So maybe Alex Mendez was just a very aggressive player. Maybe he was using cheats. I mean, we don't know the full stories. Maybe he was scripting. We do not know the full story. All we know is that SWAT team busted in his house when all they had to do was fucking announce themselves. All you had to do was fucking announce yourself, bro.
Hold on. I said,
you didn't have to go busting through your door, through the window. You didn't have to be breaking into the fucking house, motherfuckers. All you had to do was announce yourself and knock on the door. That's all you had to do. You knew. You knew. You knew. You fucking sweaty motherfuckers. I hope every one of you also get sued and lose your fucking jobs. Because while I personally rely on police officers to come help me, I've called 911. Bro, I don't expect that. I expect help, but not to get shot. Motherfucker did his due diligence, did everything he was supposed to do in his end, and still got shot by the fucking police. Moment of silence for Mr. Melendez. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. I don't even bless no more. As an individual who has run a handful of different types of Rust groups, from casual to sweaty to a Rust village, 90% of the motherfuckers that come through in the recruitment process all have the mentality created by content creators. The content creator meta created the sweaty motherfuckers because these new people come to the game and that's all they're trying to do is emulate some popular streamer, and it's ruined what Rust is. And this guy right here is responsible. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think, bro. I don't care what you think.
Hold on. I said, hold up. Wait a minute.
This is Alistair McFarlane. Alistair McFarlane was the guy running Rust for the last 10 years. Not the last 10 years, but the majority of the last years. He's been with Facepunch with Rust. But Alistair McFarlane left Facepunch. Alistair McFarlane was in the military, the British military. Alistair McFarlane was also with some other gaming company doing web design or website shit, all right? But he was a fan of Rust. And because he was already kind of into industry and him being such a huge fan of Rust, he got a job at Facepunch. Just looking at the dude, you know he's a sweaty Chad. And that's why I believe right here, because he became the main lead of Rust, he was responsible for the direction of Rust was going and for leaning into Rust. And before the big blueprint change, Rust had announced that they were going to slow progression and do everything in their power to slow progression, and the community, as usual, divided. But instead of that, they came out with a blueprint system, what basically does not slow progression. It just leans into the content creator meta I just described a while ago. And another streamer, a content creator, I think Shadowfrax, or Sarah Winter had a video. They busted out this demographic this month, and it looked like a saw. It looked like a saw blade, man. It looked like here's what the graph looked like. No. Basically, here's what it looked like. You know, it looked like what you would expect from the current wipe cycle of a server. That's not big enough. I need a fat line. It's a sharp incline in player activity, and it would taper off like this to the next wipe. This wasn't consistent until the blueprint fragment changed. This is what every server looks like now. This is what the wipe cycle of every Rust server looks like now. This. A lot of servers that weren't weekly servers didn't look like this. There are a lot of servers who wipe like twice a week. They wipe every 3 days technically, which means twice a week. They go 3 days and they wipe. Whatever that third day is. It's not a set this day of the week. It's every 3 days they wipe. And that happens twice a week. Those are usually modded times 2, times 3, times 5 servers. Even monthly vanilla servers used to look like this. Oops. Come on, motherfucker. What are you doing this to me? Yeah, monthly vanilla servers used to look like this. That's what a monthly vanilla server used to look like. And that monthly vanilla servers don't look like that anymore. They're just dead, bro. They're just dead. And that's because of this guy. This guy was he loves content creators and streamers and blah, blah, blah. And that's great for the game. That's great for the game. But you made your money. Can you please, you're gone. Can you please put the fucking game back? Yeah, Facepunch director Alistair McFarlane, who once offered to buy New World from Amazon and faked us out about Rust 2, has left the company. Some people are alluding to him attracting too much of attention about his public antics in this regard, and that maybe he doesn't jive well with the guy in charge of Facepunch, who is he's my Jesus, bruh. Gaben is God, Gary Newman is Jesus, if you didn't know. Yeah. So that's my take on the situation. Maybe the game will ease up. Now, the game over the past recent years have really, and Russ has really done a lot of great things and integrated a lot of great stuff and brought so many cool things of fucking Rust. And they could easily slow down progression if they want, but they don't. So months ago, the month before they did the blue fragment and they changed the whole the month before they implemented blueprints, or re-implemented technically, they said, we want to slow progression. And the month after that, they gave us blueprints in the new system. I'm like, this is not slowing progression. This is not slowing progression at fucking all. If you want to know how to fix things, ask me. I made a 5-minute video about it. I'm a goddamn video. I have a playlist. I have a playlist for Rust. A couple of them. I have my Rust Village. Then I have this one. It's got one video. This one. Then that's it. It's got one video and it's addressing the fucking blueprints. And how you can fix and actually slow progression by just tweaking what's already exists in the game. If you really want to slow progression, just fix what's in the fucking game already. instead of adding blueprints. That doesn't slow progression. Like I said, they've added some really, really, really cool things to the game. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I mean, I applaud you guys. Sincerely. Thank you. Yeah, you get a DJ horn. But blueprints is donkey. And you're responsible for that. You're responsible for that, Alistair McFarlane. So Alistair McFarlane looks like he would cave my face in with one punch. Looks like he would back up his shit. He's probably the guy you don't want to raid, especially if you live in the UK. He'll show up at your house. But no one knows why. No one knows exactly why he left. A lot of speculation. Nothing concrete. New World said they're closing. He's like, I'll buy it. Facepunch will buy it. Apparently that didn't go too well with Gary Newman. Gary Newman speaking up against it on social media. He said Facepunch is going to be doing Rust 2. But Gary Newman said Rust 2 also. But I think that was after Alistair McFarlane had already joked about it. Anyways, moving right along with the news this week. Closures and layoffs. Last week, I didn't talk about EA. We talked about, and what we didn't talk about is after laying off Battlefield 6 devs, EA boss Andrew Wilson's bonuses rose 8 million to 38 million. Fucking donkey motherfucker. Battlefield 6's record-breaking success earns EA CEO 38 million payday, but they still lay off everybody. Your job still ain't safe. Despite Battlefield 6 layoffs, EA paid its CEO 305 times more than its average employee. Fucking donkey. This is all from last week. EA CEO Andrew Wilson's 2026 pay may have been much larger than previously thought. What? This is this week. Fucking donkey. Keep that in mind. Because we're going to talk about it again. Yeah. This is recent. This is speculation articles from this week after EA's buyout. Mass layoffs expected at EA as $55 billion buyout by Saudi Arabia's PIF and Donald Trump's son-in-law officially go through. Y'all didn't know?
Bruh. Hold on. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
If you don't know, now you know. That's right. They already laid off, but more layoffs are expected. Mass layoffs expected at EA, as the now private publisher reportedly tells its new debt masters that it's going to cut. So, when I say private, Electronic Arts was a publicly traded company. It is now a private corporation. And to become a private corporation, they have to pay every shareholder, and it's speculated that every share is $205. So it's basically like you're cashing out. If you're a shareholder who owns a share of Electronic Arts, you'll be gaining $205 for each one of your shares that you own. That is exactly what's happening. They're becoming a private corporation, like Valve. Valve, aka Steam, is a private company. Electronic Arts is now doing the same thing. It's being bought out by PIF, this joint venture with Saudi Arabia's PIF and Donald Trump's son-in-law. And what they're doing is PIF is already Middle East Corporation, private company, heavily involved in sports, all kinds of sports. All kinds of sports. At different levels, advertising, promoting, and they feel that Electronic Arts' wide IP hold, these names, these video game names that has to do with the sporting industry, soccer, football, hockey, baseball, all these major games that EA has as a publisher that are sports games. So PIF is really going to merge all of that together, and that's what's really going on with this. Okay? That's what's going on. If you didn't know, that's why it's happening. That's why when they were accused of monopolizing the EU union, they're like, no, that's not really a union. They're just going public to a company that's already has to do with sporting, but not video gaming. All right. So the interest is similar. The business's interest is similar, but they're not actually. Now they're publishers, but they weren't before. All right, so that's what's going on. That was a tell into the bullshit about Electronic Arts and knowing. So if you play Battlefield 6, if you play any of the EA sports games, just know that they just fired a lot of people, and they're going to fire a lot more guys. And you guys make it possible. All you guys that buy their games, or gals, I don't mean the guys. Am I the donkey? All of you who buy their products support this behavior. You are empowering this behavior. You're the problem. You're the donkey. Oh, I just flipped that shit. I just flipped that shit, didn't I? You're the donkey. If you play Battlefield 6 and you buy skins and shit, you're the problem. If you play any of the Electronic Arts sports franchise games, you're the problem. You are the problem. That's right, I said it. AI startup Reforge Labs shuts down as the gap we were selling into is closing. So not too much. This was an AI company. Basically, they just did AI shit for gaming companies and studios that they could do themselves. And now that everybody knows how to write a fucking prompt and copy and paste a fucking prompt, they're going out of business. This is the end. Another shutdown. Single-player Tarkov is shutting down amid a messy trademark situation with Escape from Tarkov maker Battlespace game. So this game was a blatant fucking ripoff. It's basically a single-player mode of Tarkov, and finally Tarkov hit him with a trademark. While not totally the reason they say, while this leak has apparently there was some other shit going on, and they specifically say, putting it clearly, this is the end. However, all of the source code will be remain available in a future if a future team wishes to continue, but we're no longer going to do it. We're just not going to deal with this fucking trademark. But if you still want to fucking play the game and push it out, go for it. We're not going to do it anymore. Here it is. What?
Bruh.
So, yeah, what? They're not stopping. It still exists. So, Battle State, your takedown doesn't mean shit because some pirate can bring it up and start doing it, and people can still play it single player on their PC if they want. So, I don't know how much of that is going to work. FIFA World Cup developer Refractor Games, not Electronic Arts, this is Refractor Games who make FIFA World Cup. You would think it sounds like something Electronic Arts would make, but no. So, Refractor Games cuts 85% of its staff. Update. Firm denies earlier claims by employees that the studio has been shuttered. Yeah, so that is shutdown happening right there. If you were a fan of the game, hopefully it's not affected too much. The article is just a typical rhetoric. There was a statement from the company, from the publisher. Yeah, but it's just a typical rhetoric. All right, moving right along. Halo. Halo. Hello, Halo. Halo Campaign Evolved is being review bombed. There's another game this week that was review bombed. And if you are a follower of this show and you've heard me talk about it, in my opinion, on review bombing, easy media, easy journalism here, Daniel Morris from Game Rant. Are you just some AI with an AI face? Are you even real? Easy fucking journalism. Review bombing is not a thing. It's a myth. It's like folklore. It doesn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Halo Campaign Evolved is being review bombed. Review bombs, making it sound like there's a bunch of motherfuckers sitting alone in a goddamn Discord somewhere going like, all right, everybody, this is our target. Let's go review bomb them. That's not what's happening. These are real individuals, customers who are accessing their voice and accessing the platform available to make their voice heard. It's not a review bomb. You did something wrong. Something was bad. You deserve it. Now, why this is maybe a surprise to you, because last week I talked about Halo Evolved, but all the reviews I talked about were immediate responses from game reviewers and from the major outlets, and they maybe been paid articles, promotional pieces. I didn't check that, but most of them weren't. They were legitimate. So, bro on me.
Bruh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But apparently, the people who matter, the actual customers who bought it, who bought into it, actually the masses who played it, yeah, it's not a review bomb. It's not a review bomb, motherfucker. They said it was cringe. The cutscenes were cringe. All the cutscenes were goddamn cringe. All the goddamn cutscenes were goddamn cringe. That's why I got review bombed. Original Halo co-creator reviews Campaign Evolved, and he's like, the game was good. He goes, I'm like what they did with it with Unreal Engine 5. I like their additions. I like how it was handled. But he says cutscenes were cringe. Hey, and you know, the game was a success. Halo Studios hit by layoffs after releasing Halo Campaign Evolved. And we talked about this last week, but we're going to talk about it again because we just talked about closures and layoffs, right? Halo Studios seems cut staff after Halo campaign. Yeah. Xbox come out the door swinging with fucking Halo Evolved, and they fucking fire everybody. Now, they did say they were contractors. And apparently, maybe under the understanding that, yes, as soon as the game gets to this point, we don't need you to answer customer service calls as much or whatever. Or maybe it was, I don't know. Maybe you made the graphics assets we need. Thank you. Bye. Who knows? But they are gone. Hit with layoffs. And that was a segue into Xbox. Some Xbox talk. Xbox 360 games are reportedly coming to PC this year as Microsoft prepares disc-to-disc digital conversion. Okay, so we talked about Microsoft's existing program last year that they were trying to push more. The emulator. Whereas if you own the original copy, if you own the media, the disc already, you are allowed to use an emulator on other platforms, essentially. Meaning only consoles and different versions of the consoles, all right? Whatever version of the console you have, which was fantastic news. That's great. That's pretty good. That's, you know... Here you go. You get a laugh. No. How about this? You get one hand clap, Microsoft. Xbox, one. You get one. All right. But also, in addition, they have this whole coming to PC is disc to digital. And it's the same thing. Because I figured if you're going to use an emulator on your PC anyways, they're going to just lean into it. It's like a developer back in the 80s using Taiwanese hackers to distribute their game. So Xbox 360 games are reportedly coming to PC this year. And, you know, this is a little extension of their program that allows you to use emulators. If you're going to, you can easily use them already on PC. So yeah, here you go. We're not gonna hunt you down for it. If you own it already, you can play it on PC too. That's basically what's going on. Microsoft is working on making Xbox 360 games playable on PC. Microsoft will let devs bring more Xbox 360 games to PC. That's their backwards compatibility part of the disc to digital program. Microsoft reportedly working, so reported by IGN, Rock Paper Shotgun, Eurogamer, Games Radar. So thank you Xbox. Trying to make some money, trying to stay in people's good graces, trying to keep their fans and customers happy. What else? What's next? Also owned by Microsoft and Xbox is Bethesda. Bethesda owns Elder Scrolls Online, and they just laid off a lot of people past month. So they thought they'd take the time to let you know that Elder Scrolls Online is still up and kicking and will not be affected. Things are cruising along. Also along the same note, former Microsoft Xbox owned former indie game owned by Microsoft, now indie game again, or indie company again. Yeah, not game, company. We were talking about Devolver a couple weeks ago. Indie game publisher Devolver Digital wants to go private. If you want to see what's actually running games, read why Devolver Digital wants to be public. Doesn't want to be a publicly traded company. Devolver Digital intends to go private. The company says that its share price is not a true reflection of its value. Shareholders will vote on the matter. All right, so hopefully they do become independent. Hopefully the shareholders let them go. They'll probably end up being a situation like Electronic Arts is doing, where you got to pay them. You're going to have to pay them. And so if their share price is so low, if it's so low, just buy them out anyways. But what they're saying is something that I've said all along. And the reasons kind of tie into why Electronic Arts is doing it. Electronic Arts is going public. You don't have to pay shareholders. You don't have to pay shareholders dividends. You don't have to listen to fucking stupid shareholders that have nothing to fucking do with your company. Shareholders will ruin your game. If your priority is the whims of a stupid idiot who owns stock in your goddamn game, then your priority as a game maker is not the same priority as your customers. So basically, you're switching priorities. Your priorities are either your customers or your shareholders. And when you're a publicly traded company, your priorities are your shareholders, not your customers. Because there are just as many shareholders as there are customers, and your shareholders aren't necessarily your customers, which is the case. 9 times out of 10, I would bank that the majority of game owners aren't stock owners. They don't own shares of the game owner, of the game developer or publishers who makes the game. I guarantee that. That is a fact. That is a fucking fact.
Hold on. I said, hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
So Devolver Digital tends to go private, like what Electronic Arts is doing, like what Valve, aka Steam, already is. Because there's more money to be made. Why would you not want to keep that money? Why would you want to give dividends to fucking shareholders and stupid motherfuckers that don't really care about your fucking game anyways? Why would you want to do that? It's not smart business. The only time anybody goes public, or has gone public ever in the course, anytime a company who is already a private corporation goes public, become a public corporation, is because they needed funding. They needed money. They needed money, and their name was already good. They already got a good product, right? And they go public. Like if Valve were to go public, dude, it'd be like $800 a share or some shit. It'd be fucking insane, bro. Insane. So that's what Devolver wants to do. Devolver's like, we want to go private. We want to suffer the whims of some fucking single cell organism who thinks the stock market is the way to make money. Because the stock market in itself is just a goddamn fucking game too, bro. Oh my God. You'll be more successful as a company. If you run your company well, you won't need funding. If you make smart decisions and you're not a greedy piece of fucking shit and you take care of your customers, your product will do well. You may not at first, but if you do those simple things, don't be a greedy piece of fucking shit, reinvest your profit, listen to your customers, make your product what it's supposed to do. It's very fucking simple formula, and Devolver Digital feels like they can do that. So, round of applause for you guys. I hope you. Oh man, you shouldn't have been. That's what you get. That's what you get for. You were indie already, Devolver. You were already an indie company. The money looked good. Maybe you needed the money. Yeah. So I don't sympathize with your situation. If it works out, it works out. Speaking of greed, speaking of a company that had to go public, because they weren't ran well or because they made bad decisions, Unity. Yes, Unity at one time was a private company and went public because their CEO eventually quit because they're out of money, because they laid off a shitload of people, because they decided to change their pricing feature and structure and piss off a lot of people. Like Gary Newman from Facepunch, who said, "Fuck you, Unity," made a blog called "Fuck You, Unity." That's how bad and unpopular Unity is. Triple Dot Studios acquires Supersonic from Unity for $40 million. So there you go. Some Unity got you some money. Unity records best quarter in history ever, followed continued success of its new AI integration of Unity's new version, and boosted by the sales of charging everybody per edition of your game. That's right. Unity charges you for each copy of your game you sell that's on Unity. They charge you for it now. Yes. That's why Gary Newman said, "Fuck Unity." That's why he said we're doing Rust 2, doing our own engine. And that's where all the drama came from earlier. We talk about, tying all this in. So Triple Dot Studios acquires Supersonic from Unity for $4 million. Mobile publisher will continue to operate standalone. So yeah, it's Unity makes a game engine. I guess they were trying to expand into the gaming industry by making their own games. They did this acquisition back during the whole FOMO bubble created by Embracer. That's a whole deep dive segment I've done a long time ago. I'm not going to regurgitate it. Yeah, but Unity thought they could buy someone out and profit, and they didn't. Why? Because you don't have to be a smart person to have a lot of money. You don't have a lot. Yeah, you don't have to be a smart person. Smart people with money, not Nintendo. Not Nintendo. Let's talk about Nintendo. It's about Nintendo. Nintendo records 150% increase in year-on-year profits, mainly due to its $300 billion in U.S. tariff refunds that it won't send to its Switch 2. Yeah. Okay, so Switch 2 was announced. It hadn't come out. Donald Trump and his dumbass motherfuckers dropped this new tariffs on China, trying to force China to give them a hand job or some shit. And Nintendo's like, "We're sorry, we got no control over this. This is driving the price of the Switch 2 at $50. That's right. Each Switch 2's price went up $50. People were outraged in third world countries, mostly. People here in the States don't bat an eye because it's Nintendo and you're stupid fucking fanboys that fucking will pay $50 for a fucking turd that has a Nintendo logo on it. You literally will." And big news last week, they refused to pass those, and they're being sued currently by a class action lawsuit saying, "You said these prices went up due to the tariffs, and Nintendo, you sued the government to get this money back, and you won the lawsuit, and you got your money back. So we're confident we can get our money back, because when we went to you asking you for money, Nintendo, you said no. You said you agreed to this new price and that you got what you paid for. You knew what it was. And that's some goddamn fucking bullshit, shenanigan, motherfucking shit. I can't even articulate the type of words I want to use to fucking describe the bullshit that you're doing right now. And you don't want to pass along to your customers. So yeah, 150% increase into year-on-year profits, mainly due to the money they got back from the government, but refused to pass to their customers. Nintendo Q1 sales drop. What drop? What we just... Oh, year-on profits. So year-on means this month compared to this month last year. That's what that means. This is talking about the first quarter of the financial year, which is a few months. Nintendo Q1 sales dropped 9.5%. Operating profits soar. Yeah, due to the $300 million we just talked about. Nintendo reveals digital sales up 90% compared to last year. Yeah, greedy motherfuckers. I hope they lose their lawsuit. Other news, Pokemon company Exec hit with class action lawsuit. What? This about the tariffs? Yeah, he was tearing of something, brah. Former Pokemon exec accused of hiding video cameras in bathrooms to record women and girls. Yes, this dude was busted. He busted by the feds. When they busted his shit, they found it was much deeper than just being in the fucking Nintendo corporate offices. Yes, public restrooms of restaurants, retail outlets, dressing rooms, and shit like that. This motherfucker had cameras everywhere. Everywhere, bro. Everywhere. Yes. And child porn on his computer. Lock that motherfucker up and castrate him. Good job, Nintendo. Who's your HR? Who does your background checks? Moving right along to the disc controversy. Disc controversy. Opinions all over the industry, up and down, about PlayStation having disc anymore. Capcom shrugs off PlayStation 2's all-digital future. We talked about Capcom saying this last week. Approximately 90% of our unit sales are digital. We don't care. Capcom isn't worried about PlayStation and Nintendo shrinking the physical games market. Death of physical games will not have a significant impact on sales, says Capcom. You know, the guys who own Resident Evil, who just can't fucking lose. Can't lose, bros. Keep making bangers. All their shit's digital already. They don't care. Also on the topic, your most beloved favorite game coming out, Grand Theft Auto 6. You guys love Grand Theft Auto 6, bro? Are you fucking assholes and you fucking retards looking to play some GTA 6? Did you fucking idiots already buy it? Did you fucking idiots already? Did you pre-purchase a digital game?
Something ain't right.
Idiots. Take-Two comments on GTA 6 lack of physical version. This from the CEO, Strauss Zelnick. Don't worry about your $1,000 consoles. You'll be streaming your game soon enough, reckons Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick. Also from Games Radar, Nintendo reports a full 38.5% of its sales are still physical in the wake of Sony abandoning discs. So yeah, we're still talking about discs. Even though, so Nintendo just had some input about it, and so did Strauss Zelnick. So keep that in mind, because we're going to talk about Strauss Zelnick further later. But yeah, so he thinks, what does he say? Here you go. While believers in the importance of game preservation, those that have built large physical collections and players who distrust digital licensing have been outraged by a diskless future approach. Companies stand by the shift. Some companies. For instance, Take-Two CEO Strauss Zelnick recently spoke about the publisher's GTA 6 decision to go diskless, but sell you a fucking box with a code. Here's your box. They say 90% of their business is digital. It's always has been, as the progression of PC has come out, I guess, and platforms like Steam. Take-Two feels physical copies don't make sense for consumers either. But despite that, they also express that and acknowledge that some people love this. And we're going to talk about it more later, because I think maybe GTA 6 will eventually come out with a disc version, maybe as a special bonus packaging. Companies do that. Maybe not out the gate, like how they don't release GTA 6 online. Maybe when they do release GTA 6 online, it will be with a disc, for example, which was stupid. But hey, who knows? Maybe they'll do it just to appease the people who want a physical copy, right? We'll see what happens. Roblox, Pedoblocks, losing money. Pedoblocks losing players. Roblox reported user numbers will make it subject to additional EU legislation for regulation social networks. So, this is based upon their old numbers, the old demographics. And because of their numbers and the number of users they have in their platform, the EU is basically going to designate them as their own platform. They're like, you are a social media platform. You have more users than some social media platforms do already. And because of that, you fall under the definition of our law of what a social media platform is. So the EU laws already have in place laws that designate what a social media platform is, and based upon number of users and behaviors and what goes on the platform. And they said Roblox squarely fits that definition. And so they're looking to make sure Roblox becomes a social media platform, which would make them also have to adhere to further regulations regarding minors. So that, but on the heels of this, Roblox causes Wall Street value estimators to cry themselves a $9 million puddle as a result of pushing less kids towards aggressive, modernized viral games. This is from Rock Paper Shotgun. That's right. And this is a direct result of the laws by California and other states and EU legislation and existing shit in Australia about busting Roblox down and really enforcing this stuff. And so basically you're saying you were exploiting children already financially and allowing pedophiles access to them. Roblox's string of bad luck persists, referring to the pedophilia bullshit, as player numbers continue to plummet. That was from Eurogamer. This is from Games Radar, and of course my favorite, GameIndustry.biz. Roblox shares fall 70% than expected. Yeah, lower monetization. This is during the second quarter, I guess second quarter. So I don't know how we're talking about the first quarter about an Xbox. Anyways, I'm not a finance guy. I'm just reading articles, bro. The bookings impact changes in our recommendations algorithm on younger users was greater than we anticipated. It means the protections that we implanted to stop exploiting and taking advantage of children are working. That's what we that's what we take away from this. Yeah. Fucking greedy fucking donkeys. Moving right along. Hardware prices. Rock, Paper, Shotgun, Eurogamer, Games Radar. Rock, Paper, Shotgun again with a different twist. Is this IGN? Yep. RAM Crisis. This IGM 2. Yep. RAM Crisis. Not the same. No. Ramageddon, RAM Crisis. Two different titles. Rock, Paper, Shotgun again. Who's this? IGN? Oh, Walmart. Augmental. So this was supposed to be my segment about hardware. The only good thing about hardware this week is Augmental. This is a mouthpiece that you can put in your fucking mouth to control a mouse with. And you got like your left clicker and your right clicker to also control with your tongue. And I'm like, my dick is gonna be bumping that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know, if that's gonna be in your mouth, my dick is gonna be hitting that stuff. I mean, no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Boo, stop it, Flux. Stop it. Bad joke. Hey, this is a device for disabled people. People, you know, who can't access digital mediums like a computer themselves. So, cursor control from the roof of your mouth. And so that was really the intent of this. So, thanks, guys. This is from Augmental. Actually thinking about something other than Brainrot. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Round of applause. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we're just going to breeze over this shit. We all know there's an industry-wide crisis due to AI. And we got the three major corporations were accused of collusion, prices, and price fixing, which it may have happened. Who knows? That's going through. Samsung, one of them, who's been accused of worsening the RAM crisis via price fixing, reckoning components will only get more expensive in 2027. Walmart has the best deal on 512 gigabyte Switch 2 memory cards right now. Shit getting expensive. The three biggest RAM makers have already sold all their shit out for 2027. This shit, yeah, they've already sold their 2027 stocks out. There's nothing. There's no RAM until 2028.
Hold on.
Did you hear what I said?
Hold up. Wait a minute.
There's probably no RAM. I mean, you can still go to the stores and buy RAM, but you're going to pay out the ass for it. You're going to pay what AI server farms pay for it. All right? If you haven't pre-ordered it, you probably won't get it. But you won't be getting any fucking new RAM until 2028, bro. Those aisles and those pegs under the glass at Micro Center, they're going to be fucking empty, man. There's going to be empty. RAM crisis seems to be expanding to motherboards now. Oh, yeah. You can't see no more motherboards on the shelf either. Armageddon continues another year as 2027 memory capacity is reportedly already sold out, man. It's just now August in 2026. AMD graphics card price hikes are reportedly following NVIDIA's, of course, because they take RAM. Things aren't getting any better. And I saw a funny article on Reddit. A dude hold up a hard drive that was just come out of his computer. He's like, bro, look at this. It's not getting any better. Got one article from GameIndustry.biz right here. Pretty good article. I'm going to breeze over it. GameIndustry.biz article called "The Industry Makes Great Games, but Nobody Can Find Them." But simply, have to breeze over the seriousness of the article, what it's talking about. It talks about the algorithm to find games on gaming platforms. And when searching for games and getting gaming content on social media platforms too, all of it together, talking about how bad algorithms are. And we've heard, if you've been keeping up the media, like today, August 8, 2026, you will hear about news about Meta, Facebook being sued by who was it? Anyways, it went through. It passed. They are getting sued. Nevada or New Mexico or some shit. New Mexico. They are suing them. It was approved. Legislatures are fining them because algorithms take advantage of stupid people. They exploit stupid people. I don't know how to say it, man. It's not an insult. I don't mean it as an insult. It's not meant to be an insult, and it's not funny.
Something ain't right.
I don't mean to make it sound like I'm an intellectual snob, but there are a lot of people who become victimized by social media. And if you are not aware of the damage it can do to you already, even people who are aware of the damage it can do still let themselves become completely fucking victimized. And, you know, wake up, smack yourself in the face. Don't let yourself get victimized. And it ties into brain rot. You are part of the problem why brain rot is so popular, why brain rot is so prevalent, because you allow yourself to get victimized and you just get into scrolling. It's what I call doom scrolling. You're just scrolling forever. I think there's another definition of doom scrolling. You talk about you're depressed, but no, doom scrolling means scrolling for fucking ever. And social media platforms will allow you to do that, and they shouldn't be allowed to. So yeah, it is damaging. And so because of that, you can't find great games either. There's so many crap AI slop shit pushed up to the fucking feed that you can't find good games either. It's hard for me as a person who follows the news, looking for game. I mean, I filter. There's a lot of game news I just go past because I look at it. This is a paid article by some slop company that has a slop budget to pay Games Radar to make a marketing article. You won't see those kind of articles on GameIndustry.biz. So yeah, it's a big problem. Especially for indie games. If you're an indie developer, good luck. Good luck. Gaming the system. Also from GameIndustry.biz, UK Employment Rights Act of 2025. Harassment law is getting tougher, and games companies need to be ready. That's right. These people are like making themselves like Japan. You can't just be laying motherfuckers off. Nope. And you can't be busting their balls and giving them a hard time. Also, if your customers harass your employees, you are liable. If your employees get death threats for doing their fucking job for you, you will be held liable. That's what this article's about. So we hope that goes through, and a big round of applause for that. Moving right along. Oh, finally, we're getting into the games. All right, let's talk about some games. Finally, yay, get to talk about some games. Thank God, man, talk about some games. Action games. Dark Souls style extraction RPG with mixed Steam reviews. Celebrates 1 million players. Mixed Steam reviews and 1 million players. Something must be right. New multiplayer Steam Souls-like blend Elden Ring with Arc Raiders. You gotta pay for the game. It's like $30 or some shit. After a successful first week, Mistfall Hunters gets a roadmap promising a much requested solo mode. That's right. So Mistfall Hunters, when you look at it, it's like this Korean MMORPG type art shit, AI generated slop looking stuff. It looks good, but I know it's not hand drawn, but it's popular. They done something right. But their biggest complaint on Steam from their Steam reviews, and you can claim, look at their Steam review, you can claim that they were review bombed. You can claim that, but they're not saying that. There's not some journalist out there looking for making an easy fucking article, you know, who's trying to slack at his job and say, oh, review bomb. Because you could easily say by looking at the Steam reviews of Mistfall Hunter that it's review bombed, and it's not. They just have a lot of solo players complaining that we want to play your game. Give us solo mode. You advertise this and that, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't make any sense. I have to team up with somebody. They usually stab me in the back. Well, you know, it's an extraction PvP game, you know. Pretty hardcore game. So, Mistfall Hunters, round of applause on your success. What's up with this? What is this? What is this? What's this? After promising less invasive microtransactions, RuneScape dev Jagex rolls out one-time use microtransactions, then immediately backpedals. So this guy a couple months ago made the news. This fucking donkey made a news about, oh man, and the community raved. Oh, old school RuneScape. Oh my God, thank God this guy's finally in touch, finally answering, finally listening, finally in touch. So much so that people who didn't play it much started playing it and streaming it and like, I'm going to play only the old school RuneScape. That's it. That's all from now on. Like, Pirate Software. And as soon as this happened, Pirate Software stopped. After promising less invasive microtransactions. So that basically, you have housing in RuneScape and you can decorate it with bling. What they were selling is one-time use bling. Here's a sofa for your house. You can buy it and place it once. You couldn't pick it back up and replace it like you can with most games, housing features and decorations and bling, and you know, you can move them around, pick them up and replace them. No, if you pick it up, it gets destroyed. This fucking donkey. The fucking greedy fucks. What did you think would fucking happen? Seriously, Bo. Oh, what's going on here? Oh, what's going on here?
Hold up.
Ghost Recon 25th anniversary video. Ghost Recon's 25th anniversary. Man, that's a long time. Reveals free Wildlands story and gameplay updates. Why would they do that? What? Confirmation, new game. That's why. So they updated their old game, added some perks to it, and they are releasing a new game. That's right. New Ghost Recon game officially confirmed by Ubisoft. Ubisoft, I guess, is doing so well with their financial success from their key franchises. They said they're leaning in to their key IPs. After their layoffs and stuff, they got to regain some footing like everybody else. Too bad a lot of people lost their jobs. I guess Ubisoft doesn't care, but they're going to do, based upon that success, they're going to bring you Ghost Recon, a new game. They're going to see what's up, and they got a little bit of breathing room, and they're going to see what they got to work with. So congratulations, you fans of Ghost Recon, who've been like keeping it alive all these years and keep on going back to it. You'll be able to. I think you can get it for free. I think they're letting it get it for free. I'm not sure. I think you can get it for free too as part of the deal. Yeah. I'm running out of steam. I need a drink. And we're getting to the end of it. Good vibes stories here. There's a huge amount to be learned how the pioneering years of gaming are being preserved for a new generation in a corner of South London. So this is a story about a retro game store in South London. I talk about retro gaming and the early days of PC, and that's what this article talks about. It talks about all these old devices. What they do is owners are they also let their stuff go on exhibit because that's some really, really rare pieces. But they don't have all of them all out at one time. They just they rotate their line. So they're all, basically they got keyboards and they run on basically what a computer would be, but it's like very limited what you can do with these old stuff. And something like this one has a cartridge like you might get from a modern gaming console or device. I don't know how that's considered retro. These Ataris, bro. You my cat crying. What you want, buddy? Yeah, a great read. That is from Games Rant or Games Radar. Oh, Eurogamer. I stand. My bad. My bad, Eurogamer. I don't mean to insult you. Joke game priced at $200 ranks in 1.3 million. Oh yeah, so some fucking kid made a fucking joke game for $200, and it actually sold a lot, and most of it got refunded, and he made $1,200. We've seen shit like this before. Speculation is people who do this buy games just to get Steam points, and then they refund them because you keep the Steam points after you buy a game. If you didn't know. Yeah, so they just bought the game and refunded just to get Steam points. That's the speculation of the article, but this article from IGN also speculates maybe money laundering. There's been lots of speculation of why weird shit happens with purchases and shit that goes on in games, especially regarding the skin market. You know, a lot of people have speculated money laundering. Yeah.
Bruh. Hold on.
No,
I said,
you don't know.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
You fucking God of War fans. If you've been following and heard about the release of the live action adaptation, they're talking about Bethesda. If you're interested, moving right along. Should I talk about this? Yeah, let's close it out. We're closing the news out today with GTA 6. Why would you do that to us, Flux? Why would you do that to us, man?
Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
That's it. We're about to wrap it up. The last topic today is Grand Theft Auto 6. And you know I hate talking about anything positive, so it won't be positive because if you like GTA 6 and you're buying it, fuck you. You're part of the problem, you fucking donkey. Netflix gives new official statement on GTA 6 extended look amid backlash. Who fucking cares? If you care, you're the fucking problem, you fucking donkeys. Yeah, apparently you get a live first look at GTA 6 on Netflix due August 27th, but you gotta have a subscription to Netflix. Ha ha ha! Laughs on you. And so apparently a lot of people who play GTA 6 don't have Netflix subscription and they're crying. Fuck you, I don't fucking care. I'm gonna watch it just because you can and tell you that I watched it and not tell you anything about it. Pricing, I'm serious. Pricing has not kept pace with inflation. So nobody knows how much GTA 6 is going to be. The Take-Two CEO is saying $80 isn't bad. $100 isn't bad for a game. Yeah, $100 is a good price for a game. And I predicted a long time ago, GTA 6 will be $120. Pricing has not kept pace with inflation, says Take-Two CEO Strauss, the owner of Rockstar Games, who makes GTA 6, says standard has fallen behind inflation. Take-Two insists Rockstar GTA 6 standard. What is the got for? Is this a typo? Pricing has not kept up with inflation. Take-Two boss insists GTA 6 standard and Ultimate Edition price points are right. Insists their price points are right. Doesn't say how much. He has added, just because GTA 6 is $80, other games from Take-Two publishing labels won't necessarily follow suit. So GTA 6 online is going to be $120. That's my prediction. I know you probably may confuse my statement saying GTA 6 will be $120 because it's already has an announcement date. People are already pre-purchasing it and ordering it. I'm talking about GTA 6 online. The online version of the game. The open world role-play version of the game. The version that gets modded by fucking these private servers. That version of the game. $120, maybe even more, because it's going to have modding and server modding features for user-generated content involved with it, bro. It's going to be probably $200. And he says the price will be right. Whatever the price is, it will be right. This douchebag also says, Take-Two boss, not in the least concerned about the bad press surrounding Rockstar's employment tribunal. He says that's not going to affect GTA 6. That's right. If you haven't been keeping up with the litigation in the European Union regarding unionization for employees of Rockstar Games because of their union busting tactics of how they fired people in the process of forming a union based on information from the private union Discord server. These motherfuckers infiltrated a private union Discord server and fired everybody who they can associate as an employee based upon their Discord account. That's what they did. Fucking donkeys, piece of shit. If you buy GTA 6, you're part of the problem and you support this douchebaggery. Exactly. So fuck you if you buy GTA 6. Fuck you if you buy GTA 6 online. Fuck you if you think $80 isn't too much. Fuck you if you think $200 isn't too much. You fucking donkeys. As GTA 6 publisher Take-Two revises its 2027 net bookings up to $8.2 billion, Strauss-Zelnick confirms that sales are well over 90% digital. But, you know, we may throw in some discs later. I'm telling you, they're going to charge you $200 for a fucking GTA Online disc, bro. For the whole new user-generated economy features that's going to be involved with the whole concept. I'm telling you. Rockstar owner Take-Two confirms GTA 6 release date still on track. He says he is looking and excited about the extended look on Netflix. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. And that wraps it up for the Flux Reversal Show, ladies and gentlemen, here on this 8th day of August 2026. We can review the video gaming industry news chat and react show. That's right. If you stuck it out, if you learned, I really appreciate it because your time is the most valuable thing anybody has on this day and time on this earth. So if you watched any of it, I appreciate it. I'm going to ask you to stay around because the next part of the live stream transition into a video editing segment. And one note before I do that, if you watch the live stream or if you have found me or actually watched one of my videos, the News Captain Reacts long form video version that gets posted on YouTube after the show, you feel free to take part. If you hear stuff that you're opinionated about, if you hear stuff that you think you'd like to give opinions about, join me in my live stream. Feel free to get heated. Feel free to express what you feel and think. I totally invite people to come onto the live stream, and that's why I do it live. So you can interact with me, so you can express your opinion, whether it's for or against or something unique. So that's why I do it. So I'm going to take a break right now, and I'm going to come back to the next part of the show. All right? And if you were with me and around this long, I appreciate it.